Hey students, how are you doing? Oh my goodness, we are pretty much, I think we're more than halfway through the semester now, which is just crazy. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. I have really loved reading your papers, getting to know you through this semester-long project that you're doing, your midterm, and just your application assignments, your discussions. You all are doing an amazing job, and I'm just super, super proud of you. So today I want to go through the part two of the semester-long project. Um, I want to talk about sort of what it is, what the assignment is, and how to uh, record it on Zoom with PowerPoint and then upload it onto YouTube so you can then submit it. Okay. If you choose to do it in a different way, like maybe you choose to use PowerPoint directly to record it, that's totally fine as long as I'm able to open it and view it and see that you're the one presenting it and all of that, that's fine. I just find that this is the easiest and the way that I've learned how to do it, so I want to share it with you. You probably are familiar with a lot of these things, so if you're like, man, I already have this under control. I know how to record a video on Zoom. I know how to do present a PowerPoint, um, a slide and record it, and I know how to download that on YouTube. Then you can ignore the second half of this video, okay? Um, so first, I want to go through the um, the assignment. So give me a second to share my screen here. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. This is the semester project part two video presentation of selected topic, agency details, and interview. So this is piggybacking off of your part one. Okay, so you should have already selected your topic. You selected two research articles that you um, kind of wrote a short summary about, and then you wrote seven questions, okay, interview questions. So now what you need to do with this part two is you need to interview your person. So you can do that through email if you want to like email them the questions and then they write a couple of sentences to answer it. That's fine. Or you can do face-to-face interview and then just write down sort of their answers to the questions. That is acceptable as well. Um, so you're going to compile your findings from the assignment. So the research topic, the two articles, and the interview questions. Okay, you should have already had all that done. And then you're going to include the responses to your interview questions. Okay, so I don't want to necessarily see the responses. Like you don't need to record the interview or anything like that. I'm not going to be watching the interview. Um, but that's just, you'll just need to have those answers written out um, uh, from the questions that you had, okay? Number three, you're going to organize your findings from your research on the agency. Okay, so there's a couple of parts to this. One, you're going to formulate both positive aspects and challenges of choosing this field of practice. You're going to have the description of the agency, the mission of the agency, and the description of the clients who utilize the service of the agency. I will say most websites have some sort of um, description of the agency and also the mission. And they usually indicate what populations they deal with. So, to make life easy on you, visit the website of the agency. So, if it was like Wasatch Mental Health, um, then visit that website and they typically have a mission written there. If they don't have a mission, you can ask the person you interview, or you can just make one up that fits that agency. So it should be a 1 to 2 sentence sort of, um, you know, we're a mental health service provider who works towards providing quality counseling to individuals, families, and groups. We specialize in working with, you know, uh, OCD or like whatever it is, um, or substance use or you know those sort of things. So that's what it's going to be a kind of like. Okay. Um, okay. Number 8 on the list is just indicate what your social worker's responsibility is at the agency. Okay. And again, with social work, this is kind of a broad field, so it doesn't necessarily need to be like a licensed social worker. This could be a caseworker. Um, this could be like a behavioral health technician. This could be um, just a school counselor, anything like that. So it just has to kind of pertain to the field of social work. Okay. But yeah, just listing off what is their responsibilities at the agency. And then number 9, their views of following ethical behaviors. So what are their boundaries with their clients? Okay. Um, how do they separate their private life from their professional life? Um, look at self-disclosure. How much do they disclose about themselves to their clients? And also, how do they maintain that professional relationship between themselves and their clients? Okay. These are all really great questions to be asking any social worker. And these are really tricky topics to navigate sometimes. And it's really good to get tips and tricks and just see how other people manage those boundaries. Okay. Um, talk about starting salary. Now, this does not mean that you ask the person you're interviewing directly about their salary. That can sometimes come across as a little bit um, they might feel a little bit uncomfortable with that question, but it would be totally okay to say, at this agency, where could someone expect to start with a salary? That's completely okay to ask, as well as number 11, you're going to be talking about opportunities for advancement. So, um, what does it look like? Could an LCSW potentially become a supervisor someday? Um, and just, or how do people advance in both position? Also, are there any raises or, um, trainings or certificates that someone could potentially get at this agency that would just give them that much more ability to work and earning potential. Okay. Um, number 12. Overall job satisfaction. Okay, just talking to them like, do you like your job? What are maybe some of the hardest parts and some of the best parts of your job? Um, 13 is agency organizational chart. So this could be a couple of different things. This could look like sort of management. Do we have like a program director or a clinical director? Um, what about, how many providers are there and sort of are there how many supervisors, how many providers, are there internships at this job? Just kind of understanding sort of the hierarchy of the agency could look like that. Also, you might ask for, um, let's say it's an inpatient um, substance use treatment clinic, and ask maybe what's the process of a client receiving treatment, kind of step 1, step 2, step 3, or week 1, week 2, week 3 sort of a process. That I would also accept with the organizational chart. Number 14. So that's not necessary. Sorry, I'm going to go back. That's not necessary, but I just think those are really good things for you to be learning as a social worker. Okay, Number 14, applicability to the field of social work. So again, just how does this apply to the things that we're learning in class? How does this apply to social work in general? Um, okay, so the what I wouldn't want you to do is like maybe interview like a manager at McDonald's or something and then try to fit that in as social work, right? That's a totally different industry. Um, and so we just want to make sure that it's applicable to what we're learning. And then number 15 is concluding thoughts about the site, interview regarding positive aspects and challenges of sorry, concluding thoughts about the site. Okay, so what you thought about it, and then interview regarding positive aspects and challenges of work for the social worker. So again, that just kind of fits in with the like what are some of the best and worst parts of your job, or what what do you feel like you're really skilled at and can do well, and what are some like areas that might take some more growth or training to achieve, right? And then um, number 16 is any additional content from the interview question. So if you learned something really cool or interesting, or there was just something that stood out in your interview that you want to talk about that maybe isn't covered in this slide, I would just really love to hear more about that. Okay. The video itself really should only be about 8 to 12 minutes. I don't want you going under 8 minutes. If you do go over by like a minute or two, that's totally fine. What I don't want you to do is record like the full interview and then do your PowerPoint on top of that and like give me like a 30 to 40-minute video. That's not really what I'm looking for with this assignment. Um, this is just more or less for you to like collect your information and synthesize it and be able to give it to me in a fairly short video. Okay. Um, Make sure when you design your PowerPoints. Now, you don't necessarily have to have a PowerPoint for every single point, meaning you can, so let's say you could put like the description of the agency, the mission of the agency, and the description of the clients who utilize the services. You could put that all on like one slide. So probably anywhere from like around 8 slides is probably going to be enough. A little more is fine if you want it. A little less is okay too. I just don't want like a ton of information jammed into one slide. I think that slides should be pretty simple. There should be no more than 2 or 3 points on a slide, just because it's really hard for the brain to like synthesize the information if there's just a ton of words on the screen. Okay. And also you don't necessarily like need to read your slide out, like just have a few bullet points. You don't necessarily have to write out everything on your slide and read it to me. I want to hear from you as a human and just like what your experience was. Now, of course, if that makes you feel nervous and you need to read sort of some notes to the side, I'm okay with that too. Okay. Um, okay. So now what I want to do real quick is um so you're going to, let me stop sharing this. Okay, so this is the second part of the video. If you already know how to record stuff and download it as on YouTube, then goodbye. Thank you for joining. For those who want a refresher course, give me one second here. Okay, so what you're going to do is first of all, you're going to join Zoom. Okay. And then you're going to hit record. Okay, I'm just telling you this because I don't think it's like on my screen. Let me see if I can share this screen. Oh, more fast. Um, I don't know if you guys can hear my son singing in the background. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to worry too much about um I think all of you know how to join and record a Zoom meeting. If you don't, you can look that up on YouTube. Um, okay. So once you do have, so you're going to talk and you're going to share your screen. So there's a little button at the bottom of your Zoom screen that's share. You're going to click on that. Um, oh, here we go. I'm sorry. This is taking me just a second here. Oh, it's still not going to do that. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Let's get down to business, shall we? So, um, okay, here's my PowerPoint. Now, this PowerPoint has zero to do with the assignment. I just wanted to pull up a PowerPoint. I think this is from my ethics class that I teach. Okay. But I'm just going through the information, talking about it. I can see your face, I can hear your voice, right? And you're presenting on your experience with the interview, the agency, all of that. Okay. Um, Once you do that, you're gonna stop share on your screen. You're gonna end recording and then you'll end the Zoom session, which will then prompt that it will download. You can download it to your computer or you can download it to the cloud. I have mine downloaded onto my computer. Okay. Now, after that's done, you will go to um, we'll go to YouTube. Okay. It's the studio.youtube.com. Okay. I have mine up here. And in this right-hand corner, you're going to click upload video. So I will click it. It's going to have the select file. Now I'm going to click select file. It won't show you the actual file that I'm seeing just because of like privacy stuff. Um, but I'm going to select file. Once I do that, it's going to pull up um, sort of um, your Finder. I have an iMac, I guess is what an Apple computer. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to select on the video. So the best way to do this is just go to your recent files or your download files. Find the video. You're going to have it uploaded. Okay, and this was just a sample video. You're going to label it social work 1010 part two um, semester project. Okay. Or something like that, as long as it's clear what this assignment is. Okay. And then you're going to say, no, this is not necessarily for kids. It's not really a kids show. Next, just click on next through all of it. Next, and visibility, make sure to click public. Um, so that I can view the video. If you click private, then you're the only one that can view the video. Or you could click unlisted and just make sure that I have the link. So either one of these is fine. I usually do public for mine just so that there's no problems with it. But if you're worried about any like just privacy issues or anything, that's totally fine. I understand that. So just as long as I can view it. Oh, no, actually, I'm sorry. Yes, okay. So you're gonna send it when you submit it, anyone with the link will be able to view it, which means other students will be able to view it because part of this project, um, I'm pretty sure other students will be able to view it and make comments and things like that. So, with that being said, just make sure that you guys are aware of privacy issues. So, like I had a student once ask me, "Hey, can I interview my therapist?" And I strongly advise against that just because we want to make sure we are keeping everything private and where other students can see it. So the way around that is if you have interviewed someone who is um, you have some sort of clinical relationship with or whatever, I would just advise you don't use their real name and don't use the real name of their agency. Okay. Um, and also, if you can avoid it, just avoid it. Okay. Um, okay. So then I'm going to publish this. And this, again, this is just a sample. Um, okay. And here it's going to give me the link right there. I'm just going to copy that and I can, um, so I'm going to copy that. Okay. I'm going to close this window. Now I'm going to go back to my semester project here and I'm going to hit reply. Okay. And this is where it's kind of cool. I'm going to put this um, external link in. Okay. So this is going to be like Liz Spencer. There's sample video. Okay. And I'm just going to paste it here. And then I would just click done and it would just show the little video in there and then everyone in the class is able to see it. I'm not going to do that because it was a sample video. There's not really any important information um, in it, so I don't want to like confuse you guys, but that's how you would do that process. Okay. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm super excited to hear from all of you and see all of your interview process and the agencies that you picked and what you learned. If you have any questions, please reach out to me through Canvas. And if we need to, we can set up a time to like meet via Zoom. Like if you're really struggling to figure out how to download this or upload this or any particular problems you might be having with the interview or anything like that, I'm more than happy to set up a time with you. Okay. So yeah, hope you have a wonderful week. Stay cool out there. It is so hot. Make sure you're drinking water and getting some air condition when you can, okay? All right. Sounds great. See you guys later.